Good morning, friends. The generation that is often said that this generation is not worth anything will not be able to do anything. This generation, this Gen Z, has brought down the government in Nepal. Nepal's Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli has been forced to resign. Now, it is a different matter that these protests have reached such an extent that the Prime Minister's house has also been set on fire. The parliament has also been engulfed in flames. The finance minister was thrown out on the streets and beaten with shoes by the protesters. And in all this, an unfortunate death took place to the wife of the former prime minister when her house was set on fire. In such a situation, the question arises that what is the reason behind all this anger? Is it only due to the ban of social media that we are seeing all this? The answer to this, friends, is no. The reasons behind this are much deeper than this. Let's understand in today's video. This is on the 8th of September, 2025. Thousands of people had gathered in Nepal's capital, Kathmandu, to protest. Most of them were 20 to 25-year-old youths who were called Gen Z. Some wore school uniforms, some college. This protest was organized by an NGO called Hami Nepal, and a symbolic monument in the middle of the protesters' Kathmandu was marching towards the parliament from the Maithagar Mandal. This march was almost completely non-violent and peaceful, but the police were ordered by the government to stop the protesters. And the police started using water cannons, tear gas, and rubber bullets. Immediately, the police and the protesters clash. Some protesters even enter the parliament complex. But then, what the police do here, the entire country is shocked to see. The police open fire at the protesters, directly with live bullets. At least 19 protesters are killed here. More than 400 people are injured. Obviously, no one would want to sit quietly after seeing such atrocities. As soon as this news spreads among the public, more people come to the streets to protest. The number of protesters increases rapidly. The entire street is filled with people. The government tries to put up a curfew at 3:30 p.m. to maintain control. But still, nothing happens. The protests keep on increasing. In cities like Pokhara, Butwal, Bharatpur, and Damak, protests also start taking place. One of the reasons for these protests, which has been talked about the most in the media, is the ban on social media apps in Nepal. In reality, this is one reason, but there are many other reasons beyond this, like corruption, government misgovernance, increasing unemployment, and the nepotism of the ministers in the government. Let's talk about all of these, but first, let's talk about social media. In November 2023, social media companies were asked to register mandatorily with the Ministry of Communication and Information Technology, and to establish a local presence. The government of Nepal said that this is necessary to stop hate speech, fake news, fraud, and other crimes. That's why we're doing this. The government gave 5 public notices regarding this later. But apart from the 5 social media platforms, no other big platform registered. The companies that registered, only one big name was included, China's TikTok. Meanwhile, the Supreme Court of Nepal gave permission to ban the social media platforms that didn't register the government. Then, this year, on the 28th of August, the government told the social media platforms to register themselves by the 3rd of September. Otherwise, the ban will be imposed. But most of the social media companies didn't do this, and that's why 26 social media platforms were banned from the country. Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, YouTube, Snapchat, and Twitter, almost all the big social media platforms were included, except TikTok. The protesters say that the government did it so that they can control the social media platforms and suppress the voice of the public.
Social media banned by the government. Extremely, it is against our freedom of speech, and they want to control us just like a dictator.
Many videos were going viral on social media, exposing corruption and nepotism in the government. Nepo kids of the government ministers and their lavish lifestyles were being exposed. Actually, the young population of Nepal is very angry about corruption, unemployment, and economic inequality. In 2024, the youth unemployment rate in Nepal was 20.82%. Think about it. 1 out of every 5 youth is unemployed. Very few new jobs are being created here. and people have to migrate to other countries to find jobs. The situation is so bad that thousands of people went to Russia and Ukraine to fight for money. By February 2024, more than 15,000 people in Nepal had joined the Russian military. Here, after a few weeks of training, they are sent to fight on the front lines.
सबैजनालाई नमस्ते छ म चाहिँ यता रसियामा आएको 2 महिना पुरा भयो लगभग अनि मैले चाहिँ रसियामा आएर चाहिँ धेरै दुःख पाएँ मैले त्यही नै हो अनि त्यहाँ चाहिँ धेरै गाह्रो छ हामीलाई सर्भाइभ गर्नको लागि.
And because of this, many Nepali citizens were killed in the Russian-Ukraine war. Despite the danger of death, these people go to Russia because they have so few job opportunities in Nepal, and Russia offers them lucrative offers to join the army. Some fighters say that they earn $4,000 per month, including bonus and salary, which is more than 5 lakh Nepali rupees. Now, looking at these circumstances, if Nepal's politicians showed a little sympathy, a little empathy, the situation wouldn't have been so bad. But the opposite happened. In Nepal, politicians' sons started showing off their luxurious lifestyle. People saw this irony on social media and started raising their voices.
एकातिर नेपाली नेताका छोराछोरी र नातिनातिनाहरूले कति आरामदायी जीवन बाँचिरहेका छन् भन्ने देखाउने तस्बिरहरू जसमा उनीहरूको विदेश ट्रिप, शानदार पार्टी अनि महँगो सामानहरूको कलेक्सन देखिन्छ.
#NepoKids started trending. When social media apps were banned later, TikToks were flooded with such videos by the Nepali people, by the Nepali youth. In these videos, a simple comparison was shown of the problems that come in the daily lives of ordinary Nepalis and the lavish lifestyle of the politicians' children. Politicians' children who roam in designer clothes and show off their luxurious cars. #NepoKids and #NepoBaby started trending on TikTok as well. On a poster in a protest held on the 8th of September, politicians' children return from abroad with Gucci bags, and ordinary people's children return in coffins. This was a sign of the Nepalis who were killed in the Russia-Ukraine war. Apart from this, corruption is also a big issue in Nepal. Nepal's youth is frustrated with the same politicians of 70 plus who make the government step by step and leave the government. For this reason, there was a protest in Nepal in which many people said that Nepal's experiment to become a republic has failed, and maybe they want to make it a monarchy again. This is also a great thing that people are so frustrated with the politicians who want to abolish democracy and make it a monarchy again. Actually, friends, before 2008, Nepal was a monarchy. That is, all the power was not with a politician elected by the people, but with a king, his last king, King Gyanendra. To remove him from power, there were 2 big movements. One was the 2006 Loktantra movement, and the other was the Maoist insurgency on the 28th of May, 2008. The monarchy was officially abolished, and Nepal became a federal democratic republic.
We believe that all of us will work hard together to make the dream of new Nepal come true.
17 years have passed since then, and in these 17 years of democracy, Nepal's government has changed 13 times. Sometimes KP Sharma becomes the prime minister, sometimes Pushp Kamal Dahal, sometimes Sher Bahadur Deva. The power kept rotating between these 2 or 4 politicians. They would form a gang and break up after a few months. There are 2 dominant political forces in Nepal, Nepali Congress and Nepali Communists. Nepali Communists have 2 major parties, Communist Party of Nepal, United Marxist and Leninist, and Communist Party of Nepal, Maoist Center. These parties kept changing the government by aligning with each other and small parties. But the heads of these 3 parties have been accused of corruption. The head of the Nepali Congress, former Prime Minister Sher Bahadur Deva, is accused of taking illegal commissions in aircraft purchases. His wife, Arzu Rana Deva, who is the Foreign Affairs Minister of Nepal, is accused of showing fake documents to Nepali citizens of Bhutanese nationals. By doing this, they could be sent to America. The head of CPNMC, and the 3-time Prime Minister Pushp Kamal Dahal is accused of diverting money for Maoist guerrilla fighters and taking billions of rupees. The head of CPN-UML and the current Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli are also accused of corruption because they violated a Supreme Court order and converted a tea estate into a commercial plot. Similarly, the 3 other prime ministers are also accused of giving government land to private individuals. The problem is that since 2006, there is a practice in Nepal that no investigation will be done on corruption. This practice provides immunity to corrupt politicians from any action which has led to a lot of corruption. And now imagine, friends, between this inequality, unemployment, corruption, and nepotism, if the government suddenly imposes a ban on social media. The frustration and anger within people had reached the tipping point, and after this ban, that anger exploded completely. Actually, the thing is that by imposing a ban on social media apps, the few resources of employment that were left in Nepal were also in danger. Tourism plays a very important role in Nepal's economy, which is very dependent on social media for outreach and bookings. This ban completely disrupted this tourism industry. In addition, lakhs of Nepali families were also impacted, who used online messaging apps to contact their family members. According to an estimate, more than 70 lakh Nepali people live in foreign countries for jobs and studies. These things fueled this protest even more. And then, when people peacefully took to the streets to protest, the government of Nepal reacted like an authoritarian government. Don't even let them protest. Take down the police and start shooting people. To defend their ban, the Prime Minister says that he is against arrogance. He will not accept anything that weakens the country. But in the end, the government had to bow down to the protesters. First, the Home Minister resigned on moral grounds and the ban on social media apps was removed. But even after that, the protesters did not calm down. The Prime Minister and the President's homes were set on fire. Even the opposition leader's house was set on fire. The army had to evacuate the ministers and officers using helicopters. Finally, on September 9th, the Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli also resigned. The current situation is that the protests have not ended. Systematic reforms are being demanded. The Nepal Army Chief has addressed the entire nation and demanded peace. Nepal is a live example of what happens when the voice of the people is completely silenced, when real issues such as corruption, nepotism, and unemployment are ignored. This is a lesson for all governments to never ignore the people that the situation is so bad. Because if the situation is so bad, then it can be very difficult to regain control in the country.